Hello there, welcome to Alvarez's Diecast Customs. Now today we're going to be working on this Hot Wheels Honda S2000. One of my favourite Japanese cars these are. I really do like the way these look. Especially this particular casting as well with the extended wheel arches. It seems to be based on the one from the Fast and the Furious film, the Too Fast, Too Furious, which was in the pink colour, so yeah, pretty cool. So let's just take a closer look at it anyway. Yeah, I do like the look of it. Really nice stance as it is straight out of the box. Not keen on the colour of it. The wheels are alright, but I won't be keeping those. I do like how they've detailed the headlights on this, but unfortunately we're going to be losing that detail when we remove the paint. But I got a fix for that coming up, so keep an eye out for that. As you can see, I've already taken the time to drill the base out. Start off with a 2mm drill bit and then work up to a 5mm to remove the main and head off of the post, and then just use some 5mm self-tapping screws to screw the base on. Quite a nice little interior, sort of racing bucket seats there, roll cage at the back, window piece in the smoke glass, that'll do. Our base. As we're going to be removing these wheels and using something else, I'm going to have to pop these out. Just use a flathead screwdriver, literally just put it under and leverage it out. They pop straight out. So they're quite nice wheels as they are, but not what I'm after, so we'll be swapping those out for something else. So I've gone ahead and stripped the paint. I've also gone and selected these wheels out of the sets I have. Some sort of JDM looking things. Got a really good look with the style on this car. So I'll pick those out. Yeah, just pop the body into a pot paint stripper for about an hour and run it under a tap afterwards and use an old toothbrush to scrub the remaining bits of the paint off. I'll also just be going around fixing up some of these casting lines, which this body seems to be covered in. I'll just be using my fine diamond file and clearing that up. There's also sort of roughness around the rear of the car, casting line going around the rear bumper, and on the top of the wheel arches here as well, and just roughness on most of the edges. So as I always do on every custom I've done, is just go around with the file and just clean them up. Just really sharpen up these lines. Really gives it a much better finish if you spend a bit of time doing this. As the castings are without the paint on them, they're pretty rough. The thick paint that Hot Wheels always apply to their castings hides all the horrors underneath. So yeah, you just go about clearing that really thick casting line on the top there of these arches, using the flat-sided and the curved-sided part of the file just to get into the little nooks and crannies on this. Yeah, just spending my time doing that, trying not to rush it, just really trying to get it from all angles. Also in the wheel arches as well, they can be a bit rough, so just smooth those around. And there goes that one on the rear bumper. I'll also go over this with some emery paper as well, just to smooth over the entire body. And this is what we're left with after the filing and the emery paper. Try to go into all of the angles, try to smooth it out as best I could. Get into quite a mess doing this, but it's worth doing. So just clear that up. Now we're on to painting. I went to my local pound shop, or what you would call a dollar shop or whatever. I picked up this matte silver spray paint. I decided to give this a go. It cost £1. Thought I'd give it a shot. So this is what we're left with after a good paint of that. I initially went over with some grey primer, and then I did 2 coats of that £1 silver paint. So far so good. Looking at this, it did come out quite nicely. Quite a smooth finish. primed the interior and gave the base a quick coating of matte black. But yeah, quite a nice looking silver. Also, not forgetting, I did quickly hit the front seal on the base there with the silver spray as well. Wanted to pick that out on there. Also just be picking out some of the details on the base here using this silver Sharpie. I like the neatness of the Sharpie, it's just less hassle than using paintbrushes and paint. And it pretty much gives you the same results. Yeah, just picking out a lot of the details on the chassis here. Just taking my time going around doing that. Some sort of crevices here around the exhaust pipes I couldn't quite reach with the silver Sharpie, so I do use a fine tipped paintbrush with some silver paint to reach into the bottoms of those. Just going to hit the front headlights with the silver paint as well, using a paintbrush for this. Can't quite see the difference with it here, but there is sort of a shade or two difference with the silvers that I'm using here, as I also do have a plan for these front and rear headlights, so that'll be going up. So I'm going to be going about actually trying to draw those headlights back in using this fine liner. It's using permanent Indian ink. It's one of my artist pens that I use to do my drawings, but I thought I'd try and give it a shot with doing some headlights on these things. I carefully went about and tried to sort of draw them back in, and also on the rears. I had to do this off camera because it was near on impossible trying to do it on the viewfinder. So to get the best results I could achieve, I had to take it away with the camera. So on the rear and the front as well, I'm just gonna be adding in some extra details using some Tamiya clear orange and red. Doing the indicator lights so far. Done it on the front there and also on the side panels. I do the red as well, but I did that off camera. Interior time. Be painting in the seats, painting those in matte black. I decided to keep it in the standard grey primer finish overall, and then just added some extra details into it on the top of this. I didn't want to swamp the details inside with another coat of black paint, so I tried to highlight some of it, even the grey primer. I do the dashboard as well, along with the steering wheel in the black. Set that aside to dry. Now onto the body. I'll be using this Citadel Nuln oil. You know I love using this stuff on my builds. I'll just be adding some extra details using it around the headlights and some of the body lines. Really just sort of gives a bit more depth to everything and defines the headlights a lot better as well, I found. So I did a couple of coats of this overall, especially around the headlights. Really did want to make sort of a feature of them. And there we go. That's after doing a lot of the body lines as well, around the doors and the rear there. And sort of the vents on the bonnet there, just put a bit more depth to those. Looks a bit flat so far, but when you hit that with the clear coat, it really pulls it together. So the base also gets hit with that Nuln oil. Really highlights some of the details here. Just blends it all together as well. It looks a bit sort of harsh as it is with the pens on there, as it like that, but you hit it with the Nuln oil, let that dry off, and it gives it a sort of a more muted look to it. It's much more realistic, certainly pleasing to me anyway. It's the way I like to do my custom. I don't like to make them look like perfectly factory fresh. I do like to make them look like they've been sort of used, as if they were real world cars. A bit of dirt and a bit of grime around some areas, and just general realism really brings them out, I think. So, yep, hitting the interior as well with that Nuln oil. So as it is, I was pretty much almost ready to go into doing the clear coat on this, but it's looking a bit plain, so I thought I'd go with some decals on the side of it. We also give a good test on that £1 silver paint as well to see how well these decals go on. So I've got these anime girl holding a katana. These are from Milo's Customs, so I thought I'd give these a shot on the body. I'll save you the pain of watching me trying to put those on, so I'll just skip straight to it, putting the thing back together after a good clear coat. So here's the window piece, kept that as it is, just highlighted the windscreen wipers on the front with some black Sharpie, and also it had a rear view mirror as well attached to the top of the windscreen, so I put a lick of silver paint on there. There's our interior after that Nuln Oil dried. It gives a really nice sort of effect on the dashboard and the seats, that Nuln Oil. Makes it look a bit more leathery. Just what I'm after with that. Base, as you can see, after the Nuln Oil dried, gave it a quick wipe with a weathering, well, I think it was anthracite coloured weathering powder from Tamiya. Quickly wipe that over with a sponge, and that's what you're left with. Those wheels, they come off a Hot Wheels Real Riders at some point. Can't remember which one. Many sacrifices to my boxer wheels for that. Just pop those self-tapping screws back in. And we're almost ready to reveal it. But before I reveal it, let's take a look at what we started with. So yeah, pretty cool looking Honda S2000. Really do like the way these look. Really nice stance and just really nice style to it. But I thought I could go one better with it, so I gave it a shot. So here's where we ended up. Quite impressed with that £1 paint. Went on very nicely. Didn't give me any troubles at all to work with. It was really nice working with it. And this is with 2 coats of clear coat. This is straight out of a spray can. It's an automotive one from Halford, polyurethane based. 2 coats of it, about a day's drying time. That's what you're left with. Do like how the depth to the panel lines, that Nuln Oil really sort of picks out a lot of the details that you wouldn't otherwise see, especially around those sort of front vents and things. And yeah, very impressed with how the front and rear tail lights went on as well. We're using the fine liner. It's definitely something I'd like to try out again in the future on some builds. Probably quite difficult to do it on some of like the old retro muscle cars and things with the singular sort of headlights and stuff, but the more modern styled sort of monocoque, I don't know what you would call them, like the combined lights like this, gives a really good effect, especially when you clear coat over them. Just sort of adds a load of depth that isn't actually there, but it's sort of like an illusion. Yeah, really impressed with how this one came out in the end. I hope you enjoyed watching me put this one together. I'll just leave you with some more shots of it in the meantime, and I'll be back in a moment. So yeah, hope you have enjoyed watching this one. I really enjoyed putting this one together. It's one of my favourite cars, as I've said, and just tried a few new techniques with this one, as long as some different painting and just paints that I've used before. So yeah, it's a good fun putting it all together. Hope you enjoyed it. Do check me out as well on Instagram under Alvarez Azel. There'll be a link in the description box down below if you're interested in that. Check me out on there. I've got a lot of content, die-cast based, as long as sort of artwork and other bits and pieces that I do in my life. So yeah, hope you enjoyed watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.